All right, you guys. So I want to talk today about the double kettlebell clean because it is definitely a more advanced skill that I want every one of you to be doing as soon as possible. So we're going to go through some techniques around here, when it's appropriate to do it, some troubleshooting around techniques, and also what problems might arise from doing it. But let me build a case for cleans first. The kettlebell clean can be its own exercise, or it can be an exercise that is just the proper way to pick up two kettlebells, or it can be an exercise that blends moves together. So let's talk about that. It can be its own exercise, if you don't know what it looks like, you can do kettlebell cleans as a specific explosive move that's just like a swing and also a very good upper back move at the same time. It could also be a move that is just the proper way to pick up bells from the floor. So when you're better at kettlebells and you're more adept at them, you should be able to swoop down, grab them, hike them, and pick them up before you then press or squat. And then it can also be a connector move so that you can bridge from one move to the other in what we call a complex. So anytime you see something like double clean, military press, front squat, that's a complex, meaning 3 moves that blend together. So in that scenario, you're gonna do X amount of cleans, okay? So maybe I'll do 2 cleans, and then 2 presses, and then 3 front squats, right? And so it becomes a connector that bridges from move to move. What this does is, and you'll see me start struggling to talk, is ramps up the intensity, ramps up your heart rate really quickly. When you don't know the clean, you're stuck breaking it down into its pieces, okay? You're deconstructing that complex into rows, and then presses, and then squats. That might seem like a small problem, but actually it means you're never quite getting the most out of kettlebells. The goal everybody should have with kettlebells is to get to the point where your swing is explosive enough to learn cleans, and then your cleans allow you to do complexes, and then you get stronger, and then you're doing complexes with a lot of weight, and then it is impossible not to have your body change for the better, okay? Because you're gonna build more strength, you're gonna build back muscle that you lost through your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you're going to burn fat more effectively, all right? All good things. Now I'm gonna show you a little slow-mo of the move, and then we'll talk about how to do it, okay? So here we go. Slow-mo time. All right, so I realized that slow-mo was probably a little time-consuming to watch. If you were patient, you saw it both from the complete side view and then slightly diagonal, because I wanted you to see some different things there. What you notice is, first of all, great swing mechanics, okay? I'm hiking, and what are the things we always say in class? Chest to the floor, hands high in the crotch, all right? So until you master a good kettlebell swing, which is chest to the floor, hands high in the crotch, right? Our hands aren't down here. Our chest isn't here, right? We're getting both of those things with really good spine mechanics. My spine is nice and flat. My hips are engaged. They're doing all the work. It's not time to move on to the clean. But once you have a good kettlebell swing, and you're probably swinging 30, 35 or more pounds, it's time to start learning the clean. So You saw good swing mechanics, chest to floor, hands high in the crotch. Number two, then just like a swing, I start the motion by snapping my hips. And then you also, the really important piece that you might not have noticed, but it's the key to not having this thing flip and bang your wrist up, is if you watch back to that slow-mo part, you will see my thumbs on the way down, okay? This is the part that people miss that's really the key. My thumbs on the way down are rotating towards me. Okay, watch it in the slow-mo again. And then you'll see I come up, and then I come to full snap, and then I'm just pulling with the elbows. So if you watch it in slow-mo, you'll see me come up, and then as I'm close to lockout, you'll see me pull with the elbows just about here, and as my thumbs in one motion are turning towards me again. So I say this, your thumb should not be straight forward on the way down, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna hit your torso and you're gonna hyperextend your elbow. It's not happy. You'll end up with elbow problems. And as I said, the one negative of the kettlebell clean, if done incorrectly, can bang up your wrist or wreck your elbows. So how do you not wreck your elbows? Thumbs are here. Where do we always press from? Thumbs at the collarbone, right? Okay, so on the way down, the thumbs are rotating, and you see it in slow-mo nicely. This all happens very quickly in a clean. Rotating towards as I'm hiking, and then as I'm snapping and pulling, boom, I'm redirecting my hand. They're just twisting a half turn, and my thumb's going back at me, okay? That's how the proper kettlebell clean is done. Will you get the timing of this right away? Probably not. It's probably gonna take a little bit of time to get the timing correct on this. You will probably bang your wrist up a little bit at first, but you just have to kind of be patient. If you really are worried about your wrist and you don't have a lot of meat right here, get some cheap head sweatbands, okay? Some people wear the kettlebell sweatbands. The feedback I hear is that they're really hot, okay? You can get just some cheapy little wrist sweatbands, and that's just gonna create that little bit of padding. Then until you're good at cleans, will help save your wrist. Because what happens is once your wrist is bruised up, you're gonna start not wanting to snap hard, because you're gonna think, well, if I don't snap hard, I won't bang my wrist. No, you're gonna save your wrist by, as it's coming up, your wrist is flipping, and that bell's actually, if you watch it in slow-mo, the bell is down in my hands as I come up and it rotates. The bell's traveling around me, and I'm catching it on the way up. So that timing takes a little bit of work, but I don't want you to bail on it just because it's hard. We do a lot of hard things in here, but the badass results from kettlebells are always gonna come from really learning new moves, getting impeccable form of them, and getting stronger. I'd recommend you start with 2 light press weights for this guy, right? Maybe if you press 18s, then that's probably fine to learn a kettlebell clean on. And then as your pressing strength or squatting strength goes up, you can move the cleans up. Once you learn the kettlebell clean, it is a move you can move quite a good amount of weight with. So just stick with it and get stronger. It's gonna benefit you, but the changes you want in your physique, they're gonna come by adding kettlebell cleans. I call them the gateway drug. They build into all these other things in a good way, okay? I think that's it. I think that's the kettlebell clean in a nutshell. If you feel like you get it and you sort of got it from the slow-mo, but you need some tips, ask one of your trainers, ask me, get with me. I'm glad to look at your form and make small tweaks and help you master this until it's really nice, really clean, like the clean, and sharp so that you're not doing any damage and building yourself up for some really successful lifting, which is what we're here to do. All right, hope that was helpful. Let me know what you learned in the post, if it's on the post that you're watching this. I'd love to hear what you learned and whether or not you are currently doing cleans and what you think you might need to fix if you are. All right, that's it for now. That is the kettlebell clean, skills, technique. Take care.